Confession time. The gospel that we're looking at this week has one of my favorite stories in it, and it's Jesus cleaning the temple. If you've never read it, stop right now and go to your Bible and look in John 2nd chapter, starting at verse 13. What you're going to find is the story of Jesus going in there, just tearing up the place, flipping over tables, taking a whip to folks. And there's animals, and there's chaos, and there's people, and there's all sorts of going on. And he yells at them that this is supposed to be a place of worship, and you've turned it into a den of thieves. And it really ticks off the temple establishment. The priests and the elders and the Sadducees and the rabbis and Pharisees and everybody who's there who wants to maintain authority and seems to turn a complete blind eye to the fact that the money changers are probably cheating people. That there's lots of other places around Jerusalem where the action of money changing could happen, and the fact that it's being done in the temple means that people are being pressured to a limited amount of money changers and whatever rates they're charging. Now, if you don't know what a money changer is, that's okay. If you've traveled overseas, though, you've dealt with a money changer, only this time in history. They're regulated, they're honest. They're exchange centers. You can do it at a bank or there's places in the mall. And the whole idea of the money changer is to change the money that the pilgrims came with, their own money. So if they came from Rome, they had Roman coins. If they came from Greece, they had Greek coins. And they came from Egypt, they had Egyptian coins. You get the idea. And they had to change them for the temple shekel. So the temple only used one coin. And part of the reason they did that was because the shekel had no pictures of faces on it. If you ever look at any of the Jewish symbolism and design and decor in synagogues or in books or around, they don't depict people. Because one of the Ten Commandments said, do not make graven images. So they don't use people the way Christians use people in our holy artwork. So they would not accept the coins from other nations because other nations had the coins that had the heads of their leaders on it. So that was not acceptable. So they had to be the shekel. And a lot of these money changers would jack up the price so that the people who were in the temple, who had come from great distances, who were there to buy doves or sheep or maybe even an ox or cow to sacrifice in the temple, were being charged rates far exceeding what the locals would have done. So Jesus was pretty ticked when he moved into this room and he saw what was going on. And he decided to clean it. He decided to get people out. And he said, this is not what the temple is for. I love it. The reason I love it is because it's not showing us the calm, quiet, loving Jesus. I mean, that's there too. But it's showing us a Jesus I think we can relate to better. Because I don't know about you, but anger is a pretty easy emotion to tap into. You see anger in newborn babies. Right? It's primal. It's one of the first things we experience, the first things we feel. And through our entire lives, adults tell younger folks to control your anger, to don't show your anger, to that you're going to get in trouble if you show your anger. So we're taught to kind of to close that in and really restrict it. And here's Jesus letting it go. He's just full, letting it out on the people around that he thinks deserves his righteous anger. I think it's righteous anger is something that Christians really have to reclaim. Getting really, really angry at injustice. Getting really, really angry about how disabled folks don't have access to churches because churches won't put in ramps that allow them access or have the bathroom on a whole other floor than the sanctuary, and there's no way a person with walking issues could get there. Injustice like treating queer folk like they don't belong. That's not part of the gospel, and yet the church does it way too often. That's places where righteous anger can be forced. Rather than walking away and thinking these people in the church are not sharing your values, turn that around and find out if there's some way you can demonstrate righteous anger and really show that what is happening is unacceptable. You know what? You got the Bible for backup. You got Jesus right there whipping things up when people are not doing things God's way. Imagine if that was the approach you took to your faith. You're going to be angry on behalf, because Jesus was not angry for himself. He was angry on behalf of the people who were stuck in this system of exploitation. That's a pretty good way to represent and demonstrate our faith.